So today I'm here to teach you how to create a shiny 3D subscribe button and animate it in DaVinci Resolve Fusion. I decided to create this video because the other day I launched a video explaining how to add textures to text, and someone asked me if it's possible to add more reflections, more shiny to the text or to the 3D graphics in DaVinci Resolve. So I decided to create this video to show that it's possible, and I think you will see a lot of reflections and shine in this video. And if you stick to the end, I will tell you how to download this one and other graphic elements that I have for you for free. So let's jump into the computer and let me show how you can create this. So let's go. So here we are inside of the edit page of DaVinci Resolve. Let's see what I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna teach you today. Subscribe animated button, and let's start the assembly. So let's come here to the media pool, right click, new fusion composition. Let's give it a name, 3D subscribe button. Create. Let's double click it, and now we are inside of the fusion page. So we have only the media out node. And since we are going to work with the 3D objects, we need to use the render 3D. Let's connect the render 3D, select the render 3D, come here, change it to hardware render, enable the lighting and the shadows. Now, let me add here a merge 3D that will merge our camera and our spotlight. So let's connect this one to here and this one to here. Put the merge 3D in the viewer 1, and let me put the camera back all this way, and I'm gonna put the light also back and a little bit up, and I'm gonna come here with the spotlight selected, come here to the transform, and I'm gonna rotate it a little bit down. Now this is the 3D main parts. Now let's start the assembly of our 3D button. So I'm gonna start with adding a shape. So a S rectangle, add it in here. Let's put this in the viewer 1. Gonna reduce the height a lot, something like this, and I'm gonna increase here the corner radius, give it a rounded corner radius. Now if we try to connect this to here, it doesn't allow because this is a 2D object and this is a 3D object, so I have to convert this one to 3D. So to convert it to 3D, we have to use the extrude node, so shift space and type extrude, and as you can see, extrude 3D added. Now if we connect this to here, now you can see the extrude 3D. And as you can see here, this is the spotlight. So let's put this in the viewer 1. So I'm gonna put the spotlight back a lot and let me put it down. Now let's, as you can see, it's a simple plane, it's like a sheet of paper, and we wanna give it some depth. So select the extrude 3D, come here to the extrusion depth and increase it. And I also want to give it here the bevel, like this and something like this. And now you can notice the bevel around here. So let me put the camera a little bit back. Now I want to add some texture to this extrude, and I'm going to use this one. Gonna drag it over here, and I'm going to connect it to here. And now immediately you see that we have all the shape with that PNG file wrapped around. Now that we have this one, let's add some text. So come here, select the text, put it over here, and I'm going to connect this text to here to the extrude, and it creates immediately the merge. I don't want to connect it to this because I want to add some other nodes after this between these two merge. So here in the text, select the text and type subscribe, and I'm gonna change the font and I'm gonna change here the style, and I'm gonna resize it a little bit or a lot, something like this. Now you come select the text, come here and come here to the extrusion also, and let's extrude it a little bit. And now you don't see it because it's inside. With the text select, you come here to the blue arrow and put it in front, something like this, and you can put it also down, and it's still too big, so let's resize it a little bit, and you can move it to here and put it adjust the space in 0.95, something like this. Okay, now let's create the YouTube logo. Let me put this because we want to need some space. Now here, so come to here and select everything and select somewhere around here, shift space, type S rectangle and add it. Now unselect everything again, shift space, S and gone, add it. Now select the S rectangle, shift space again and S boolean because we want to join these two. So let's join this to come here to the S boolean instead of here in the operation intersection, put subtract. Let's put this in the viewer 1. Select the S and gone, and here change the sides to 3, and we have our triangle. Gonna come here to the height and the width and reduce to half, so 0.25, 0.25. Select the S rectangle, and I'm gonna increase here the corner radius also. Now let's add the extrusion node. Here we have it, add it, and here we can connect it to the merge. Okay, now let's come to the extrude. As you can see, immediately it's too big, but here in the extrude, first thing I'm gonna give it some depth and a little bit of bevel like this, and I'm gonna come here to the transform and to the scale, and I'm gonna resize it a lot and come here to the Z, or you can come here, press 1, and you can come here to the extrude, select it, and you can move it forward. So we can move it a little and put it somewhere around here, and we have to scale it. Okay, let's add a little bit more. Let's go to the text 3D and let's add a little bit more also. So I think it's okay. Let me adjust the subscribe. So it's done. So this part is done. So the button is complete. We have the subscribe and the YouTube logo. Now let's create the arrow that's going to click the subscribe button and animate it. So let's come here, shift space, S and gone, add it here, change the sides to 3 because I want to be a triangle. Let's copy this, Control C, unselect it, Control V, and let's add it here. Now with the first one, S boolean, and now let's connect this one, and instead of in the operation, let's add union. Let's put this in the viewer 1. Let's come to the S and gone tool here, change it to 0.25 and 0.25, and let's come here to the offset, X offset, and offset it somewhere around here. and now to this one, and I'm gonna reduce the height, and we have the arrow done. So let's extrude this, extrude 3D, add it here, and come to the depth also. Let me put this in the viewer 1. Like that, and also increase a little bit of the bevel in this one. Now I'm gonna add a transform 3D because I want to animate this arrow, and every time I animate it, I like to use the transform 3D. After this merge 3D, I'm gonna also use a transform 3D, and now I'm gonna merge this with a new merge over here. Okay, so the arrow is almost done. Let's come here to the S boolean, and I'm gonna change the color. So it's done. Let's put this here, 1. Now you see that the arrow is too big. So let's come here to the transform, and I'm gonna to the scale, and I'm gonna resize it a lot. Let me put it back so I can see. Let me rotate here the image to see. So the arrow is still too big. Let me put 3.5. Okay. And come here to the Z, and let's rotate it a little bit, something like this. So the arrow is done, and it's behind the object. So let's start the animation of the arrow. This is going to be the most work, because you have to add a lot of keyframes to move the arrow. So let's go to the first keyframe in the scale, add a keyframe. Let's come here to the 12, add another keyframe, and to the 14, add another keyframe. So let's come back to this one and put it 0. And let's go back and also put it 0. So if you don't see the arrow, and it here and here it appears, and now it's here. And now let's add a keyframe, keyframe, and keyframe, everything over here. So now let me rotate this. Now let's go to the, for example, the 20, and add some keyframes over here. You don't need to add any keyframes to the scale, and I'm gonna put back a little bit. I'm gonna put it like this, and I'm gonna move it like this. Now let's come here to the 28, add another keyframes over here, and I'm gonna put it in front. I'm gonna put it somewhere around here. Let me rotate this to see when it is in front. I think it's enough. So now let's come to the 38, for example, or 30 here. More keyframes. Here I'm gonna put it up like this, and probably a little bit like this. And now in the 42, for example, I'm gonna do it the click. So now I'm gonna put it like this because I want it to touch the button. So in here, I'm gonna add a keyframe to this one. I always add keyframes because if I want to adjust anything, I don't have to create new ones. So in this one, from here to here, you don't see a difference, but I'm gonna come here. Let me zoom in a little bit, and I wanna put it touching. You can see that we have an interception here, so it's touching. Now let's come here to the 46 again, add more keyframes here, and put it back again. I'm gonna put it over here. You can notice here this line is the movement. And now let's go to the 54 and add more keyframes and put it down again somewhere here to the same position. And now here to the 64, add these keyframes here. Let me rotate it like this. I want to put it somewhere too much, somewhere around here. And 74, add these keyframes, and I want to put it something like here. And let's see, some like here. So it's behind. Now in this one, I'm gonna add another keyframe in the scale, because here add another one, and I want to put it to 0 for the arrow to disappear. So now if we play it, you will see that. Let me zoom out this a little bit and for you to see. And I think it's too much in this one, in here, in this keyframe over here. Let's move it somewhere around here. And in this one, let's move it around here. And in here it disappears. So let's play it for you to see the animation. So it's coming and it's going, clicking, and it's going back, and it disappears. So it's done. Now here is the point where it clicks. So in this point, I'm gonna come here to this transform over here, and in here add a keyframe to the scale. Come here, add another keyframe, and somewhere around here add another keyframe. So I'm gonna add 3 keyframes, one before, one in the position where it clicks, and one after. So I'm gonna come here to the middle position when it clicks, and I'm gonna scale this down a little bit. So to give the impression that the button is going back a little bit. You can also come here in this one, the Z, give it a keyframe, come here, give it a keyframe, and over here, give it a keyframe, and go to this one, and you can move it back a little bit. So let's see, it comes, it clicks, and then, okay, it's done. Now in this point, let's come here to the text also, and I want to give a keyframe here. I'm gonna give a keyframe here, and I'm gonna give a keyframe here to the size, to the color, and to the text. Now let's go one after and do the same keyframe, keyframe, keyframe. So in here, I want to add subscribe. I'm going to change it to gray, something like this one. And in the size, I'm going to resize it a little bit, and it's subscribe. So it's done. Play, it appears, click subscribe, and then it goes back. Okay, now let's come here to this transform, and in here I'm gonna add a keyframe to the scale. So let's go to the beginning. In here, add a one here, and I'm gonna come here to the where it says pivot, select it, and let me see, it's here. Let me move it somewhere to the middle of the button, and I want it to, let me see, no. So in here I want to add a keyframe, and I'm going to put it minus 360. You don't see any change. Now let's come here to the, let's see, it's where the first, it's the 12th. Okay, so let's come here to the 12th, add a keyframe here, and add a keyframe here. So in here, I want to put it 360. Let me go back, and in here, I want to put it 0. Now, if I play it, it will appear like, so it's rotates, zooms in like this. It will click, disappear, and let me. Hi, it's Paul from the future. So I forgot to tell you how you can smooth the movement of the arrow. So to do that is very easy. You come here to the spline and you select the transform 3D. It's already selected, but if you don't see it, just look here. It's this one. So look for transform 3D. You will see this. Let's press here to zoom to fit. Now let's select everything and press S. Now the movement is smooth, so you now notice that you don't have straight lines, you have everything is smooth. And if I come here and put it in the viewer one, look, so this is the movement, and now you don't have those rectilinear lines. So if you play it, you can see the difference. Now the movement is more organic, more fluid. So let's continue. Let's go to the past. Here where the arrow is. So in here, let me come to here, add here also a keyframe and do the same over here. So let's go somewhere around here. Add this one and add this. So here and here. So now we have to come see, let's disappear also. So come to this one and put it at 0. Is 360, and in here is 220. Now it's done. Sometimes you have to pay attention to all of that. So it appears, we have the click, and now it will disappear. So now you can use it on your videos. Come to the edit page. Let me remove this one and let me add this one over here, and let's play it, and it appears, click, and it disappears. Now of course you can come here and resize it and place it in a corner, something like this, and now you have a subscribe button done. So it appears, subscribe, and it will disappear. So as you could see, it's very easy. Of course, it gives a little bit of work, but the final result, in my opinion, is very good. And as I said in the beginning, if you go to the description down below, you will find a link. And if you go to that link, it will ask you for your name and your email. And after you send that information, you will receive the graphics pack in your email that you can install and use it for free. And of course, if you want to give me some feedback about that graphics pack, I highly appreciate it. And I hope you like this, and I hope you learned something today. And if yes, don't forget, hit that like button, that helps a lot. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and hit that notification bell to be notified next time I launch a video. Until then, bye!